time for math. And in math today, we are looking at two shapes, and these shapes are 3D, which means they are not flat, they are fat. And the shapes we are looking at are a cylinder. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. A cylinder and a cone. Got a cone. It looks like a birthday hat. Alrighty, so we're looking at a cylinder and a cone. And your job today is to go around your house and you're going to find as many cylinders and as many cones as you can find. Now, this is a little tricky. I had some trouble finding some cones around my house. I was able to find soup cans and some different things that looked like a cylinder, but a cone was a little tricky. So if you want to make some cones, you can take a piece of paper and you're just gonna roll it like this into a cone. So you're gonna make a cone, you can tape it, make whatever size cone you want. Just if you have trouble finding cones around your house, that is an option. And after you have found your different objects, I want you to draw them for me. And you are going to label some things on them. So you're going to flip to page 12 of your packet. And grab it to show you. So we're looking at page 12. Oops, sorry, the sun. And today we're looking at cylinders and cones. And you are going to fill out this chart to tell me the different faces, the different corners or vertex that you see, or the edges, all those different things. But before you do that, we're gonna talk about it. So let me show you. We're gonna talk about what is a face, what is a vertice, and what is an edge. So I've got a little chart for us here. And if you look at the top, we have a face. So a face of a shape is a flat surface. So if I looked at my cylinder, I notice on the top and on the bottom, there are two super flat surfaces where I can set that down and it'll sit perfectly on that flat surface. I also see on the bottom of my cone, if you can see, there is a super flat surface as well. So those are the faces of the shapes. The next thing you're looking for is the vertices or the corners. So we've already done this with a few shapes. And if I look at my cylinder, I don't really see any corners on here. So I don't know that this one has any corners or vertices. But if I look at my cone, I think I see a vertex or a corner right here. So this cone has one. My cylinder does not have any vertices. The very last thing you're looking at on that chart is the edges. And an edge on a shape is the line where the vertices are on each end. So if we were to look at like a cube, this is an easier way to see those edges. But if you look at a cube, there's all those vertices or all those corners. And if you look in between, the line that is connecting them would be called the edge. So that's just a little rundown of some terms. But you are going to fill out that chart on page 12 for a cylinder and for a cone. After you've done that, whoops, you are flipping to the next, the page before, page 11, and you're filling out that exit ticket. So let me find it for you so you can see what it looks like. You're filling out your exit ticket for today, which is day 28. So it's this one right here, day 28. And that's the last thing that you have to do for math today. Very last thing we're looking at today is science. And in science today, we are taking all of the different animal groups that we've learned about, and we're going to talk about all of them. So I've got our different groups here to give us a refresher. And I remember one group of animals that we learned about were called birds. I remember we talked about a hawk and a flamingo. And birds have feathers, wings, and beaks. Most birds can fly, and they can lay eggs. And they are warm-blooded creatures. Some examples of birds are a chicken, a blue jay, a flamingo, and a duck. So, there's our birds. Now let's talk about another group we learned about, which are fish. I don't know if you can, there we go. Fish. And we said that fish have fins and scales. They can breathe through gills. So remember, they don't breathe like people through lungs. They breathe through gills in the water. And they are born and live in water. And some examples would be a clownfish like Nemo, a goldfish, and a shark. Those are all kinds of fish. The next one is reptiles. We talked about reptiles, and we said reptiles either have 4 or 0 legs. So they either have 4 legs or they don't have any legs at all. They can lay eggs, and they are cold-blooded, which means whatever temperature it is outside, wherever they are, that's the temperature of their body. And some examples are turtles, tortoises, and a snake. Got 2 more groups to look at. Our next one is amphibians. And amphibians have scaleless skins. So they're not like fish. They do not have scales. They live in water and on land. And they are cold-blooded as well. Some examples are frogs and salamanders. And our last group that we talked about a long while ago is mammals. And mammals have fur or hair, and they also have either 2 or 4 legs. So they have to have 2 or 4 legs. They can breathe through lungs, so people breathe through lungs, and they are warm-blooded. Some examples are people like you and me. An elephant would be a good example, and a dog. If you have a pet dog or a pet cat, they are a mammal just like you. So, what you are going to do is you are going to pick just one. So, I know there's so many groups we learned about. You can do fish. You can do birds. Amphibians, there's mammals, there's reptiles. You are going to pick one animal group, and your job, this is super fun you guys, is to create a whole new animal. So an animal we've never seen before, I want you to come up with one, but you're going to pick a group. So you're either going to make a new mammal, you're going to make a new fish, a new amphibian, a new reptile. You're going to pick which one you make, and I can't wait to see the different animals you guys come up with. I'd love to see some names, if you can come up with a name for your animal, and get that uploaded into Dojo, and I look forward to seeing all the different things y'all come up with. So I hope you enjoy your Monday, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.